Hello everyone and welcome to the first broadcast of Adeptus Podcastus. This is a new Warhammer 40,000 fan podcast starring myself, Remleiz from 40K Theories, Michael from Tactica Imperialis and EgoQueenAlexis. So, how's everyone doing today?
Good, you?
I'm doing pretty well.
That's always good to hear. So, let's start off with some of the rumours that's been floating around. Everyone's talking about the fact that the Primarchs are getting models in 40k.
Please.
Oh, I can't wait.
Do you honestly think this is going to be happening?
I'm not sure.
I would say with 30k not finished, no, not yet.
Because what I can see happening, I can see them doing the Demon Primarchs for like a Black Crusade campaign or End Time type thing happening. But I can't see them bringing back, you know, Russ, Lion, Dawn, etc. just because we haven't actually got them in Horus Heresy yet.
The problem there, though, is if you bring the traitors back, for the sake of game balance, you've got to bring the loyalists back, and for the sake of the people who will scream at you because, hey, you brought the traitors Primarchs back, we want ours back too. And, I mean, yes, with some you have the excuse that they're kind of not there, like Korax or Gwilym.
Korax is dead.
Not canonically, but maybe, probably, yeah. But yeah,
he went into the warp with lightning claws. He's gone.
Well, Khan's been lost in the webway, and people think he's alive, so give him a chance.
That's true. That's true.
True, but the webway is not overflowing with demons and mental fucktardery.
Parts of it are.
Parts of it are. Yeah, but when you say about the game balance, don't forget in the lore, you know, who beats up Mortarion, Khaldor Drago.
Yes,
that's why.
But that's in the lore, and we all know that the lore is extremely exaggerated for the good guys or the protagonist at the time.
True.
Except the Tyranids.
Well, they're not the protagonist ever.
Even in their own book, they lose. No, but if they do release Mortarion as like the Demon Primarch for 40k, I'm writing Drago across his chest.
Oh, just give me Magnus. Give me Magnus. I want Magnus for 30k, never mind 40k.
Well, that's one of the rumours I heard going around, because we know we've got the Death Mask box, which is Deathwatch and Harlequins.
Yeah.
Apparently there's going to be another 2 sets coming up. Apparently one's going to feature Ahriman's Thousand Sons and Magnus's Thousand Sons.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yes.
Maybe they can actually have good rules.
Well, let's not go too far here. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah, that's a really good lore setup because obviously Ahriman betrayed Magnus completely, and it's really interesting because it'd be interesting to see how the armors evolve. Whether the Thousand Sons look like they did then. Obviously, I know the color changed from red to blue, but I'm not sure what physical changes they've gone since the rubric. I'm assuming it's the same suits of armor, so it'd be mirror match.
It's just sealed shut. And full of dust.
Yeah, but unlike, let's say, the later traitors who had the later Marks of Power armor, or the other leading tool cannibalized it, the Thousand Sons can't because their soul stuff's bound within their armor, if I'm right.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, their souls are bound to their armor. One
thing I never understood about Chaos armor, how come Chaos Space Marine backpacks have the little wing thing on the back? You know, the little, where they got those little nodules on the backpack. How come they're stretched out on arms, yet on normal Space Marines they're closed in? Because it's not relevant from the 30k, because 30k backpacks are the same as the 40k backpacks.
The warp?
Why would it just do that though? That's just weird.
I mean, maybe the Dark Mechanicum designed a new model?
That's the only thing I can think of actually makes sense, rather than just
the only other
different.
Well, with me, there's an idea of like we look at Possessed and how they sort of look. Maybe that's the sign of the warp is like trying to transform them in that way, and maybe that's the first. They can't obviously. I don't know, but I would say the warp is probably the easiest excuse, even if it's probably wrong.
It's like the whole "a wizard did it" argument. The warp did it.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, but Lionel Johnson said warp did it. Yes, but Lehman Russ warp did it.
Very true.
Yeah, Lehman Russ is a furry. He's now a werewolf. I choose to believe that.
Yeah, I get the feeling that if the Wolfman's part of his gene seed, which it is because the Wolfman exists, then he'll have gone feral by this point, quite probably.
How come no other Blood Angels have gotten wings, though?
That was the Chaos God's mutated Sanguinius as he was chucked through the warp, I believe, rather than actually his gene seed.
And there was one, but that was he was modified by Fabius Bile, I think, from the Blood Angels novels, and it caused like a bit of a civil war in the Blood Angels because some people believe he was the reincarnation of Sanguinius.
Yeah, that was a Zinchun Inquisitor, and that was what led to Bile coming to Bile in the first place.
That's it, yeah.
I only know that because I've been researching Bile for a lore video.
Oh. Isn't he dying of cancer?
There's a flaw in that stock of the Emperor's Children's gene seed called the Blight, but he had a year to live before Istvan 5. He then went to tell possessed Fulgrim about it, and well, he's still around, so assumedly the arcane something majig, or Slanesh, decided, you know what, you're doing a good job, you'll be pretty useful to us for the next 10,000 years, here, have a cure for free. I assume.
The warp did it.
Basically. Although I think this time was actually more straight up demonic blessing, because he went to see Fulgrim and it's never bothered him again, it seems.
That's one thing, speaking of demonic blessing, one thing I never truly understood. If Horus was truly blessed by the Chaos Gods, because he was supposed to have all these blessings from the gods and that, how come he never ascended to demonhood when during the heresy Angron and Fulgrim did? And possibly Mortarion as well, depending on how the novels go.
Angron and Abaddon.
Abaddon had, why hasn't he? Well, didn't Abaddon just turn around and say no?
Abaddon said no. Abaddon's refused all 4 of them at least once. I think Angron was forced to by Lorgar. Fulgrim did it by basically trying to kill Perturar, but I assume it was because if Horus went demonic, then some of the traitors may not have followed him because he wasn't human anymore, or they've found it harder to, I don't know, just maintain control or manifest.
What if he's like Magnus the Red and has the ability to transform?
That's not canon.
When you said that's not canon, I immediately thought of Kitten and Shadow Sun. It's not fucking canon.
Oh my god. No, but apparently 30K is getting the Sisters of Silence and the Adeptus Custodes.
Yes, that's right, because the next book coming out is detailing the Battle of Prospero. So it's going to be Space Wolves and Thousand Suns.
I'm really hoping they're not like, oh look, here's the Sister of Silence army. I'm hoping they're just like select units, and they're just really powerful.
I assume it'll be the same with the Custodes, because the only Custodes army is on Terra. You wouldn't send the Custodes to fight an entire army on Prospero.
Here's our entire army of Custodes.
I just can't wait for the very last Horus Heresy Forge World book so we can have a model and rules for the Emperor.
Oh my god, yes. He's gotta be a Master Level 5 Psyker.
He's gotta have at least a stat line comparable to Horus's in 30k game-wise.
Yep.
He's got to, at bare minimum. Just because otherwise, well, you ain't got a chance, son.
Yeah. Oh. Didn't Mortarion ascend to demonhood because of the plague on his ship?
No. Mortarion ascended because of the plague planet. He reshaped it in such a glorious way that Nurgle gave him demonhood.
Ah, okay.
That's in the current fluff, isn't it? Because I remember in the old fluff it said that the Death Guard got lost in the warp, and then Nurgle's rot started to spread, and then Mortarion prayed for help, and Nurgle went, okay, you're all Plague Marines now, and now you're a Demon Prince.
That's pretty much the long and short of it, with a couple of exceptions. Instead of being lost, Typhus took them there, and instead of Mortarion ascending, he didn't until after the heresy. Everything else is exactly the same.
Yeah, because I'm going from 2nd edition canon at this point.
Yeah, and I'm going for the 7th edition wikis, which could be just as wrong.
Oh my god, I stick to 2nd edition orcs being the best fluff in all of 40k.
Haven't read that one.
Was that when the Storm Boys were literally Nazis?
Yes.
Yeah. Storm Boys were basically highly disciplined and goose-stepping with like polished boots and ironed military regalia.
Also, my favorite picture in any orc codex is in that book, and it shows 3 orcs outside of a spaceship repairing it while flying through the warp with another orc poking his head out the window.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was 1st edition, wasn't it? That was from Here We Go, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, 3rd edition for that one.
I didn't start playing until 5th, so it's all news to me. That's fantastic.
I still got my copy of Rogue Trader sitting around.
I've got a 4th ed. I've got a hardback 4th ed rulebook that somebody gave me, but that's as far back as I go.
Fair enough. It's really jarring seeing the differences in Rogue Trader compared to modern 40k, when Space Marines had shoulder pads that were sensibly proportioned. They were essentially just space cops.
Well, I suppose they had to make them unique in some way or other.
Yeah. It's quite funny as well seeing this picture of like Space Marines and Squads and Mechanicum and Eldar all standing around a table discussing a plan.
Well, that could still happen.
Oh, and that settlement where humans, orcs lived together and Space Marines patrolled it as the police. That was bizarre.
What?
Yeah.
That's new.
No, that's old.
Well, okay, it's new to me, anyway.
Older 40k fluff was like the best thing ever because it wasn't so serious.
It was the 80s, what do you expect?
Exactly. It was like, yo, Mad Max just came out. Let's make a Mad Max game.
They did, it was called Gorkamorka.
I know, and it's the best game ever.
I really wish I could have played that. Like, I want to go back and play all the specialist games. I want to play Battlefleet Gothic. I want to play Mordheim. I want to play Necromunda. I want to play all of them at some point.
If you do play Battlefleet Gothic, do not play against Necrons. They are
I've
so
heard about
overpowered.
I've heard about
Holy cow.
that. Thanks for the warning. It just seems like it's a really clunky system. I'm hoping that the Specialist Games division, when they bring them back, because I heard about Specialist Games coming back, I hope they do it right. Like, they've got to do justice.
They are coming back because they're just finishing off Blood Bowl.
Oh, yes, Blood Bowl, that's the one that's coming, isn't it? I want to play that too.
Yeah, that's the first one that's coming out because they've been posted on the official Blood Bowl page on Facebook. They've been posting new screenshots of like the models daily.
I haven't known that.
I know for the fact they're bringing back Epic as Adeptus Titanicus.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome. Although, okay, and I know this is a controversial idea. I was hoping that Games Workshop would sell the rights to Battlefleet Gothic to the company that did the Star Wars X-Wing game, because their system is so much better.
I think the problem is with selling the license to BFG. Well, maybe not. Is that it's people would bite people's hand off for BFG, and the problem is that Battlefleet Gothic is basically X-Wing with a new coat of paint at that point, and it's not unique enough. Like, it's basically selling on its name and not on its mechanics. Like, I've never played X-Wing, and I've no intention of playing X-Wing. But if someone told me Battlefleet Gothic is X-Wing with a 40k aesthetic, then I don't know, it's just too much money for GW to make off BFG to ever dare sell the rights.
Yeah, but look at all their stupid app games that they released in the past year.
Oh, I don't disagree, but it's so much money for them to actually keep BFG, particularly with the video game, and that's going well. I think Tower going into beta soon, that selling off any rights to the game for it would just be stupid.
Yeah. Although I just wish they had it. I'm hoping they have a system similar, so it's an easy learning curve.
I can follow that.
I'm just waiting to bring back Man of War.
Which one was that again?
Battlefleet Gothic in Warhammer Fantasy, but with naval boats rather than spaceships.
So basically Dreadfleet done right.
Yeah, Dreadfleet was such a missed opportunity. Because when they announced Dreadfleet, people were like, oh my god, it's Man of War, and then they played the game and was like, oh, it's a board game.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Have any of you ever actually played the board games that came with the current, like, special edition sets?
I've played one game of Deathwatch Overkill, and I've played one game of Space Hulk. And that's about it.
I played the Titan versus game, like, you know, I can't remember what they called it, but where the two Titans are shooting each other.
Freeblade, isn't it?
It is. Yes. It is so much fun.
The only 40k board game I've played in recent years was 2nd edition Space Hulk, and that was about 10 years ago.
Oh my god.
There's a funny story. This is when Games Workshop were phasing out 2nd edition, making way for 3rd.
Yep.
And they had a massive sale. All codexes were like £1 each, and Space Hulk was £10 for the game. It was like 2 Terminator squads and 20 Geniuses for £10.
Yes.
Yeah, good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
That's mad. I think Space Hulk was like a limited run. I don't know if they'll bring Space Hulk back anytime soon. I hope they do, but because there's the Deathwing game, isn't there, coming out? Space Hulk Deathwing.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
But what I really miss is Games Workshop bringing out all these board games, because like back in the day, you have things like Space Crusade, Hero Quest, Tyrannid Attack. The original Space Hulk, which had like those 2 expansion packs.
Yeah.
I mean, they started getting back into that with things like, Death Watch and Lost Patrol and stuff like that.
And I think Kill Team's got it. I don't know if that doesn't have a board game built into it, but Kill Team's come back, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think
Kill Team actually got quite popular quite fast.
I kind of, if one of my friends was actually playing Vanilla Marines, I'd probably get it because, well, Fire Warrior Team on the cheap. Yes, please.
Exactly.
I just want to back. Oh, sorry. Go on.
All of the newer start collecting sets being dirt cheap. All of the new cheap sets it's awesome, because back when I started, it was 4th edition where everything was significantly cheaper.
Yeah, and you had Battle Forces too, didn't you?
Yep. And now the start collecting sets are this really good way of getting new players into the game.
I made a video about start collectings and why I think they're absolutely awesome, because I was worried at the time when they came out they weren't going to do them for all the factions. It was going to be like a one-time run. But I mean, I've bought 2 start collectings for my Tau, and if I start another faction, I'll be heavily investing, particularly for AOS, because you basically build an entire army out of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still remember back in 3rd edition when they started releasing the battalion box sets, because at the moment with start collecting Space Marines, you get a captain, a tactical squad, and a dreadnought for £50, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Back in 3rd edition,
well,
you
the
got
equivalent here.
The equivalent, yes. Back in 3rd edition, the battalion set, it was a tactical squad, a Terminator squad, a bike squad, a land speeder, and a set of scenery for £40.
Inflation, how we love you.
Yes. Bastards.
I just want
happen.
to backtrack, if I may, because we originally started this debate on the back of 40k Primarchs.
Oh yeah.
I just want to backtrack and go from 40k to 30k, because I've had this debate a couple of times. I think I had it on stream once. Which Primarch comes out last, and are they going to do a model for the Emperor?
If they're going to do the Battle of Terra, they will most likely do a model of the Emperor, in my view. As well as
Could you imagine how expensive that's going to be?
It's probably going to be at least £80.
Does anybody care?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
People will buy it. If
Yes.
they're willing to spend £2,000 on an Emperor class Titan, they'll buy it a £90 Emperor model.
Yes, they will.
And they'll probably have
That's
to
true.
contain a full Custodes army list rather than just 1 or 2 units.
Maybe.
Hover rhinos.
What would be the best Easter egg is if Forge World actually had the Captain General of the Custodes, and the Captain General has been known by many names throughout the years, X, Y, Z, and then just kitten tagged on the end.
Yeah.
That would be the best Easter egg.
That actually really would, yes.
But yeah, which Primarch comes out last? My money's on Sanguinius or Dawn.
I
Probably.
reckon it would be Sanguinius. Because he'll probably come out around the same time as the Battle for Terra, because that's like the main thing he's known for, as well as Rogal Dawn.
Well, he's also known for fighting that one demon prince over and over and over again.
That's true.
Yeah, there was
Kabanda.
Kabanda. Yeah, Cygnus Prime, and then he was there on Terror as well. And then he got killed by the Sanguinor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
Go
the
on.
next Horus Heresy book coming out is going to be for the Battle of Prospero, which is going to be Space Wolves, Thousand Suns, and Sisters of Silence.
yes.
I can't
get my
wait.
Magnus model.
I get
my
sisters.
Magnus. I've held off playing 30k on the sole excuse that Magnus doesn't exist yet. That's it. The only thing stopping me is Magnus, because I'm waiting for Magnus and the Thousand Suns rules.
I actually took a D20 and rolled it and got the Death Guard.
Good choice. Good choice. I like Death Guard.
Yeah, except they suck in 30k.
It's all
Not
about
really.
the Night Lords. It's all about
Oh no,
Night Lords.
Night Lords are bad, but Death Guard, they're ridiculously tough. Yeah, okay, they're slow, but they've got rad grenades, they've got chem ammunition, they've got really tough units. Like, they can have entire armies in Terminator armor. Yeah, okay,
Well-
they're slow, but nobody cares. You can't kill them.
I've noticed this as a big difference between U.S. playgroups and European playgroups. European playgroups, you guys actually bring like lists that are fun. Over here, I only battle meta lists. So when I play 30k, I'm running into like 3 teams of quad guns. And it's like, can you deal with this? No army can deal with that.
Yeah,
Like,
I've only played 30k. Go on, sorry.
I broke out my Death Guard and I was so happy with them. And I was like, yeah, I painted them all up. I was so happy about this. I fielded them. I made them all pretty. I brought like an actual like battalion that would come to a planet. My opponent brought Iron Hands, brought 10 Terminators with missile launchers, 10 Terminators with missile launchers, and 6 quad guns. I was tabled turn 2.
Actually, no, I'll tell you what the worst combo is. I played Night Lords and my friend played Alpha Legion. We took Curzon Alfarius for fun. And he took a Moritat. Now, this was old rules. Now, this has been patched since. But back in the old rules, Moritats could fire basically ad infinitum with no risk, assuming they kept hitting. Which, when you're Ballistic Skill 5 and Alfarius basically gives everybody preferred enemy, and you have a plasma pistol, rip Terminator Squad with Apothecary.
Yeah.
Speaking of 30k, do you reckon they'll release models of Demon Angron and Demon Fulgrim, considering they were demons during the Heresy?
Oh, I hope they do.
I would say no. I would say no.
Or at the very least, have a model, specific model for Kabanda.
Commander, yes.
Yeah, I can see him.
Primarchs, no. I would say no.
Hey, what about those, that one orc war boss during 30k that was actually, like, it took multiple legions to beat him?
Oh, was this from the Triumph of Illuminor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was his name? I've forgotten it. The one who nearly strangled the Emperor to death.
Yeah, like, is he gonna be playable in 30k?
I doubt it, considering 30k is mainly about the Horus Heresy, not the Great Crusade.
That's true.
I'd agree with that, actually.
Because if it was the Great Crusade, then they would probably have rules to create your own Primarch for the missing legions.
And the Megarachnids.
Yeah. Megarachnids just repurpose a whole bunch of card effects models.
Oh, actually, I just want to bring this up, guys. I've just seen the link here, and it looks like there's a follow-up to Traitor's Hate called Angel's Blade. Yeah, I didn't know if you'd seen it. It seems as though it's got Lamartes? No, it looks like Lamartes, but it's not Lamartes.
It's just a new generic Blood Angels chaplain with wings.
I didn't know if you'd seen it, that was all.
So I didn't mean to condescend or anything like that.
No, not at all. I've been completely out of the loop for the last few days. They just pinged up on my newsfeed. I was like, oh, hello, what's this?
Huh, I just noticed something on Forge World. When you click Titans, the only Tyranid Titan to show up is the Hierophant. But when you go to the Tyranid selection, all of them show up.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm browsing
but
for...
Isn't the Aerodual technically classified as a super heavy tank?
No, it's a gargantuan creature. With transport capacity. Similar to that of the gargantuan Squigoth.
Because I'm pretty sure from the Imperial Armor book, the Amphelion project, it's classified essentially as a super heavy tank.
Well, which one is that? The Hierodin or Hierophant?
The Aerodual.
Oh, the Aerodual? Yeah. Honestly, they're smaller than the regular monstrous creatures that are being seen now. Like, size for size, a Trevagon is almost as big as one.
Yikes.
Like, I can see them being dropped down to monstrous.
Speaking of monstrous, how come the Eldar avatar has been everyone's punching bag as of late?
Oh my god, yes.
It's meant to be an unstoppable fragment of the God of War, and he gets his ass kicked by everyone.
You need to just make him a gargantuan. Pretty much fixed.
Well, you'd have to make his model bigger. You'd have to use, like, the Forge World model for him.
Well, fine, but make him a gargantuan, you pretty much fixed half his problems. He can't get one-shotted, he's a lot tougher, he's faster as far as I'm aware, and he hits like a ton of bricks, which is what he's supposed to do.
Do you remember the Rogue Trader model for the Avatar, which was literally no bigger than an Eldar Guardian? He just carried a spear and had a little cloak.
Yes. I had him for a while.
It was so derpy. Like most models back in Rogue Trader, it was so derpy. I miss them. That's one thing I like about the Forge World 30k models, because they are so full of callbacks to the original Rogue Trader models.
Yeah.
Which makes you think, so does it mean that retroactively Rogue Trader is actually in 30k, considering that Rogue Trader also had Liam and Russ running around, you know?
Well, when did the various because Mark 5, what armor was it in Rogue Trader? What mark of armor were they using in
It was
Rogue
the
Trader?
Corvus pattern.
Yeah, and that was being trialed at the end of the Heresy by the Raven Guard, am I right?
Yes.
So
Vickys.
you could... Vickys indeed. So you could theoretically say that Rogue Trader takes place in like 31k, because Russ stuck around for a couple of hundred years after the Heresy and the Scouring, so that's, if you're going to put it in the timeline, it's probably 31k.
Yeah.
And then when did Mark 7 come into the game? Was that 3rd edition we got Mark 7?
That was 3rd edition, yeah.
Well, there we go. That might explain why the armor looks like that it does.
Back when shoulder pads were properly proportioned and not stupidly large.
People didn't just wear the Aquila everywhere.
No.
Hey, everybody knows your vital organs are all stored in your shoulders.
Apparently so. This is back when the Founding Legions were the Flesh Terrors and the Rainbow Warriors.
I have no words.
Yeah.
I have no words.
And yes, the Rainbow Warriors are still around, they're still canon, and apparently they don't like the Ultramarines very much.
I was going to ask what successor they were, but...
Well, all their information has now been classified, apparently, and their homeworld was destroyed by the Ultramarines.
Goddamn Ultramarines.
Lost Legion, anybody?
Potentially, or descendants thereof.
Dun,
But
dun,
that's
dun.
just a theory. I'm not going to do it. Fuck you.
No.
I was waiting for it.
I could see it coming, and I was expecting a pun, and there was no pun, and now I'm sad.
I'm sorry to disappoint you all.
No problem. Anyway, we've been chatting for the best part of, what, half an hour just about Primarchs and board games. I haven't really got anywhere. Is there any... Because I had an idea for... I'll probably tell you this off call, but maybe if people want to leave some comments on this episode, and we can maybe do kind of like a comment showcase, like a Q&A, go through people's comments, and maybe just like...
Yeah, good idea.
Probably should have mentioned that off camera, but I thought it'd be good for the people at home to hear it as well, and that way they can get involved.
Good call. But hey, this is the first episode. It's going to be some few bugs to iron out, so let's just keep the train moving forward.
Yes, lads.
So speaking of trains, squats. Because they got the land
Oh,
train,
bring them
which is the most
back.
dangerous vehicle in all of 40k lore.
Well, is it basically just like a travelling nuke or something?
Well, let's put it this way. You know, with like the Bane main tank is supposed to have something like 25mm thick armour.
Right.
The land train has 20 meters thick armour.
What?
You ain't getting through that.
How does it even move?
It's got an engine in every carriage to help push it along.
No, how does it even move?
I refuse.
Through sheer drunken force of the Scots going, move your blasted thing forward, you bastard. Just sitting there getting drunk on ale and going, you figure bastard. I imagine them being a bunch of drunken Cockneys or Scots.
Scots is the stereotype, but...
Yeah, but Cockneys is funnier though.
Maybe.
I would love that, but seriously, how does that even move?
How does it not just, like, crack under its own weight? Because if it's a train, it's going to have wheels or something, and it just won't take the weight.
It
That's
has
some
treads.
serious suspension.
It has
That's
treads.
some serious suspension.
Yeah. Apparently they also
What
have their own
happens if the
farm
damn
on
thing
board.
hits a pothole?
They're big enough to have an entire farm on board, which they use to, make beer. They actually have a brewery on board the train. That's how big it is.
I raised you the Imperator Titan, which can house a platoon in its big toe and has a city on its back.
Yeah, but I think the brewery's more impressive though, seeing it's got more armor than a Titan.
True. It's true.
I mean, that Titan's going to step on it. It's going to have its foot implode from just trying to break it.
No, it's gonna kick it, stub its toe, jump around for a bit.
I I thought I can't get up.
Deary me.
No, so here's something that because we were talking about like older editions and everything. I have the older edition Titans. Like I have the dog face Titans.
Warhound.
I miss when they had like bones and everything. Like their limbs looked like actual limbs, and they had biomuscle and whatever. Like,
I prefer it mechanical personally.
But it really brought out the machine spirit. Like, hey, look, the Titan's actually alive.
There's a difference between a machine spirit and basically a biomechanical monstrosity.
The Warp did it.
Is that just going to be our tagline now? The Warp did it.
Pretty much.
I like it. I can run with that.
But what I miss from Road Trader, Imperial Beastmen. Imperial Beastmen.
That was a thing.
Yeah, it was. Because actually, when I sat down and spoke with Gav Forbes a few months ago, I mentioned this to him, and he said, "Oh yeah, just if you speak to Alan Bly about it, he'd probably put it in one of the Horus Heresy books." So come on, let's all contact Alan Bly and say we want Imperial Beastmen in 30k.
I totally do.
Yeah, take it or leave it.
They were used part of the Imperial armies, even as a meat shield, but still.
Counts.
It counts.
Definitely counts.
Fun enough, I actually had one person ask me, how come there's no Tyranids in Horus Heresies? Because they hadn't come to the galaxy yet.
Yeah, they're in a galaxy far, far away, devouring Star Wars at the moment.
No, Star Trek at the moment. They finished Star Wars last week.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what, I haven't been in the game as seemingly as long as you guys have. I mean, I only came in 5th, but one thing that I think that I kind of missed, and I was talking about this with my friend today because I've just been playing a game with him, and he was saying the old rule, which I think might actually fit back in the game, was consolidating into a new combat, because oh my god, orcs would have loved that.
It makes orcs and gene stealers viable.
Well, he was running Harlequins against me earlier, and it was just like his Harlequins just absolutely obliterated this squad, and it was just like, I wish I could consolidate into Firewars, which are right next door, and he just couldn't, and it was like, oh dear, they're dead now. Bang.
Well, back in 4th edition, Rending Claws can put you up to Strength 15.
Oh, yeah,
Gene Stealers used to be able to pop Land Raiders.
It wasn't just Strength 6, but then plus D3.
Nope. Well, they were Strength 4.
How do you get to 15, though?
I forget, it was a long time ago.
I remember back in 2nd edition where everything had a movement stat.
Oh my god, yes.
And then in 3rd edition they said, no, everything just moves 6 inches. But Space Marines used to be able to only move 4. Eldar could move 5, Gene Stealers could move 6. Squads could move 3.
Yeah, they just copied the fantasy movement system then.
Yeah. Back when one Space Marine captain can take out an entire army by himself.
So basically that was just Age of Sigmar then.
Oh my god.
It was called Hero Hammer.
Which is basically what AOS has become.
But, literally, like if you had a level 4 Psyker on the board, you essentially won, because Psycho powers were so overpowered.
Wasn't there didn't I remember hearing something about there being a psychic phase in 2nd edition with cards that was so detached from the rest of the game it got canned?
Yeah.
Yep.
And yet now 7th edition is a psychic phase completely separate with everything in that as cards.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god. So, speaking of psychic powers, did anyone notice that Space Marines just got the most overpowered psychic power in the entire game?
Which one? Because they got a lot of them.
I can't remember the name of it, but it takes a piece of terrain and moves it.
Teleports it, yes.
And it keeps everybody on it.
Not if half your unit's on it, then your unit has to stay behind because the other half doesn't move. But yeah, I've heard about that one.
Here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to, because I've run into a lot of Void Shield generators. I'm gonna deep strike a librarian and teleport your Void Shield generator to my side of the table and assault it.
Why assault it? You just have it for your own.
over here we rule it that it doesn't work for us.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of different rules than you guys.
I just played it rules as written, which would assume I control it, now it's mine. Yoink.
Yep.
I just find it funny that the new Chaos Space Marine psychic powers are literally the Space Marine psychic powers with new names.
Like carbon copies.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Like Technomancy's been called Heretech or whatever it's called now.
Oh my god.
Originality. Ding.
So, me am writer.
Hey guys, I got an idea. Let's call the Tyranid psychic powers Biomancy. That sounds awesome, and then rip it away from them next edition. Great idea, guys.
And then we'll have the Pyrovore, which is a artillery flamer that blows up as soon as you look at it funny.
Do you know what's funny? Rules as written, back when that thing came out, the explosion hit everything on the table.
Was that how it was written?
Yes.
Oops.
So essentially it was just a four-legged nuke with a penis stick on its back.
Yes, except it was weak as hell and no one took it.
So nothing changed then?
The only reason people bought the model was because it looked better than the Biovore, and people just used it as a count-as.
Yep,
pretty much.
That's what I did.
Then Games Workshop thought, people are buying it, people must think it's good.
Yeah,
well, one person was trying to say it would be good if you used a Mycetic Spore with it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it out in a game. Mycetic Spore is like 65 points. I know it's expensive for something that's completely useless.
Tyrannocyte's better than the Mycetic Spore, I think. It's the new Tyrannocyte's actually not too terrible.
Oh yeah, the Tyrannocyte, that's what it's called. You drop it in, they get out, they flame one unit, the unit laughs at them because they have a 2-up or a 3-up armor save, and then they kill it.
And then everything dies.
And you're sitting there like, with Tyranids going, why didn't I just bring 5 Flying Hive Tyrants?
Because you have a life and a conscience?
Why don't you bring an Elephant Biotitan?
I have one.
Just try and, I don't know, deep strike them somehow.
You can. Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out for this. Alright? The new FAQ for Tyranids states that the Mycetic Spore can be taken for anything. Okay? And it can transport one monstrous creature. The new rules for Gargantuan creatures is they count as monstrous creatures.
In all respects?
Yep. That means I can take a Mycetic Spore and drop in a Hierophant.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And keep in mind, fluff-wise, that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Because that's how they deploy.
And when you drop that on someone in the game, they just flip the table.
No, they won't. They'll damage your bloody Hierophant. Not happening.
They won't care. They'll just get stressed and pissed off.
Oh my god. Did I ever tell you guys how I got my Hierophant in Hero Duel?
No.
No.
Okay. So, a long time ago, I was engaged to be married. And it was a good time, okay?
Okay.
I bought my soon-to-be wife wedding rings and a wedding band. It cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then I came out as being transgender, and she dumped me.
Ouch.
So I sold that and bought a Hierophant and a Hero Duel and my Titan.
Irate.
Better investment. It's funny.
Oh, yeah, it's funny now. I can imagine that it was definitely... Yeah.
Yeah,
funny.
At the time, it was not fun.
I can imagine.
Speaking of fun, Dawn of War 3, anyone seen that stupid cataphracty Terminator jumping 30 feet into the air?
Sadly not.
Don't! Oh my god. Okay, so I got the game on pre-order, and I'm really excited for it, except I don't want to take Gabriel Angelos in any army ever.
When does it come out again?
Oh god, I don't even know. I know it's sometime either this year or next year, and it's probably going to be pushed back because fans fucking hate it. Whoops, sorry, I'm trying not to swear.
Yeah, it's fine.
The amount of times that Remleiz has sworn about drunken squats, I think you can get away with it.
Well, that's okay because you're talking about squats.
Meh.
What I'm not liking about Dawn of War 3 is that it's Gabriel Angelos and not Boreal. I want some more specimens.
Oh
I'm
my
going to be
God.
honest, like, I've only played one Dawn of War game, and that was Dark Crusade. I've only actually played that one, so I don't really know if Dawn of War 3 is going to be any good, but...
you need to play Soulstorm.
Is that metal
stupidity.
boxes? Is that metal boxes?
It is,
Yeah.
and they misplaced 100 Baneblades.
Yes, I heard that. I lost an entire regiment of Baneblades have been shipped off-world for some reason.
You mean 100 Bane Blades?
Yes. All of the sentences, like, you could tell that they would just, like, crash together.
But hey, that's kind of half the fun.
Yes. Although, in all honesty, the games did have a decent storyline for what they were working with.
Except Soulstorm.
Hey, that...
The only good thing about Soulstorm is that it brought in Sisters of Battle and Dark Eldar. That's
The Dark Eldar.
That's
The
literally
Dark
the only good
Eldar
thing about
was-
it. And like,
But I did... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
you first.
Alright, the thing that I did like is that they talked about how the Space Marines feared the Sisters.
They spent too much time near the bathrooms.
Did I develop an allergy to fire?
And then, no, and it wasn't just the Space Marines feared them. Every single army feared them.
What? Were there bugs?
Well, the Tyranids weren't in the game.
Oh no, that was Dawn of War 2, sorry.
I can understand the Imperial Guards, fearing them because, the Sister Battle are just fanatics who follow the ecclesiarchies that all don't get in their way.
Yep, die heretics.
Exactly. I can't imagine Chaos being scared of them. It's just like, pfft. Dark Elder will be like, pfft. Elder will be like, barbarians. Orcs will be like, whoa. And Tau will be like, we've lost everything.
Oi.
Hey, that's what happened in things at the end of Dark Crusade of Soulstorm. The Tau commander basically lost everything and was crying and trying to commit suicide with a shotgun.
The best.
Oh, is
best
that?
part-
Oh, that explains the sketch now.
The
That
best
explains
part
that sketch.
of that mission is the Ethereal is just standing there with no guards in the middle of the map.
Yeah, that was Dark Crusade. He was just standing in the Tau home base completely on his own.
No, he wasn't even in the Tau home base. If you rush the map really quickly, he's just standing there. Like,
I just prefer to send about 9 defilers in. It's like, hello.
Boom.
Because you could literally just if you had 9 defilers, you could steamroll pretty much anything.
yep.
Yeah, I think because as far as I'm aware, the guy at least in Dark Crusade was O'Case, and O'Case definitely didn't try and shoot himself with a shotgun. He's in cryo storage.
Yeah, I think it must be one from Soulstorm then. We've lost everything. There's Borealum and
Well, actually, one of my friends pointed this out. The Ethereal might have been so important in that mission because there was enough warp presence to manipulate him.
Chaos Tau.
That will take some serious warp imprint to pull off, but it's not impossible.
I mean, the Emperor's just walked up to people and mind controlled them before.
To people, yes. I'm not saying. I think Magnus summed it up pretty much right. An overwhelming presence such as mine or yours would be able to get through to them. But it would take someone on a probably Primarch / Emperor level to complete the mind control.
So that basically means they're just going to send Tigerius, the only psyker in existence who could meld minds with the hive mind and not go insane. Even more powerful than Magnus the Red or Malkador the Sigilite, because fuck you, that ward.
Wait, didn't what happened with Mephiston? Because he went Black Rage and then came back again. Sorry, got confused. Yeah. I didn't, because I know he died-ish. It was involved in Space Hulk with Calistarius. I didn't know if he had some hive mind related shenanigans before he went Psycho.
No. That's a funny thing, and the whole Mephiston's coming to the Black Rage was actually a fairly recent retcon, because I think it was up to 5th edition and prior, it will each suffer from the Red Thirst.
But the Red Thirst got very much, game-wise, nerfed, so kind of like...
Yes, it did.
Back when, 2nd edition, when Death Company could have, you can have an entire squad of 10 Death Company armed with 2 power fists each and just load them into a rhino. Because you could do that. And it was overpowered, because you just got a bunch of people just punching you in the face.
Yeah, because
How many captains do you think the Blood Angels go through?
14.7 a week.
Because, like, each one of them is very susceptible to the Black and Red Thirst. The Black Rage and the Red Thirst. Oh, no, wait, the Red Thirst is just something that they have, and the Black Rage is what they succumb to.
Yeah, the Black Rage is Death Company, the Red Thirst is just losing it a bit before battle.
Yeah. They must have a buttload of, like, chaplains and whatever to try to keep these guys under control.
Well, that's the job of the chaplain. The chaplain's secondary role is to shepherd the Death Company to their deaths. It's what Lamates is so damn good at, and that's why Astarath exists, because Astarath, if the Death Company don't die, kills them.
Speaking of captains, how come there's 3 captains of the 2nd Company in the Ultramarines?
There's Sicarius.
Sicarius, there's Titus, and there's the guy from the Ultramarines movie.
Oh yeah, because Titus was wearing 2nd Company livery. Well, I can explain away Titus, because what I would do with Titus is I would assume that Titus, being taken away by the Inquisition at the end of the game, was then replaced by Sicarius. Is my logic, and he was just written out of the records because suspected of heresy.
No, he's also a blank. Like, that's incredibly important.
Oh, that explains it. Not actual psychic powers. He's actually a blank. That explains so much.
Yeah, he's a negative psyker, so he's probably with the kill teams.
The Death Watch.
Yeah.
Or with the Inquisition in general, to be fair.
Yeah, he might actually just be a Grey Knight at this point.
But again, I think they'd have probably written him out of the Ultramarines records just to keep his identity secret, probably, or just to cover the chapter if something hit the fan.
Did you guys ever hear about the original plans for the Space Marine sequels?
I knew there was planned to be one, but then THQ...
The story that THQ wanted to do, they wanted to have start the 2nd game in custody of the Black Templars, and then you basically fight your way out and you go rogue and found your own chapter and be able to design your own livery and colour scheme.
Funny enough, when I was thinking, like, what would I do next to Space... Well, if I were the designer of Space Marine 2, I would have basically started it exactly the same way, with being in the custody of the Inquisition and then busting out. I wouldn't have come up with found your own flipping chapter, but I agree with that plotline.
How does one go about founding his own chapter from absolutely nothing with no gene seed?
Gathered together a group of individuals who had also been seconded away from their own chapters, or maybe lead a mass breakout of people from the Black Templars and then found one based off of them. Would be
I'm pretty sure he can find a couple of rogue Dark Angels that would join him.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun.
Now that would be really
sorry,
cool.
Don't you mean loyal Dark Angels?
Why did all the loyalists... Why did the Fallen change their color scheme?
To blend in, I would assume. So people don't think they're different. They just think, oh, it's just another Dark Angel.
Well, the Fallen went black, didn't they?
No, they were black during the Heresy. The Dark Angels then went green, and the Fallen also went green for some reason.
Ah, that makes more sense.
I honestly think it was just like a continuity error.
Yeah, most likely.
Whoopsie daisy.
Like how the Dark Angels originally, like, these are based on Christian crusading knights who are also Native Americans. What?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, basically during the tail end of 1st edition and the beginning of 2nd edition, the Dark Angels recruited from a planet that had a population based on Native Americans.
Alright.
And they basically had names like Lame Bear and Cloud Runner and Two Heads Talking. Basically, they were Native Americans, and that's where the Deathwing concept came from. Is because they're from their people's beliefs. Because it was basically a spirit that would ship their soul to the afterlife.
Okay.
I mean, that would actually make a cool like story between the Space Wolves and the Dark Angels, like, because Vikings have visited America when the natives ruled this land. So it would be kind of neat. It would be a stretch, but it's kind of neat
Plus, you also get the idea of a clash of culture. Like, for example, the Vikings had their beliefs in their gods and their afterlife, and the Native Americans had their own. It would explain another way of why the two would clash, other than one of them misinterpreted a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Never mind. Speaking of the Space Wolves, why have they changed the Space Wolves from basically being Space Vikings to Space Furries?
Why is everything in their army Wolf of the Wolf Wolf?
Alpha Busa put it summed up best. All I got from that is wolf.
And wolf.
No, like, one of them is named, like, Fenris Wolfborn.
So, wolf,
Canis.
Wolfborn.
Canis Wolfborn was literally
Wolfborn.
raised by wolves. Canis was literally raised by wolves. That's his
Yes, but his name in English is Wolfborn.
What was Dog Wolfborn?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah,
I mean-
Wolfborn. Riding my great wolf, as I ride up to the sigil of the wolf in the Space Wolf armour, with the pelt of the wolf, with the wolf cry, the wolf axe, and
on Thunderwolves with Wolf Standard, and there's just like so much.
in the Hall of the Great Wolf. So we get it, you have a wolf fetish, you yiff, we get it.
Then again, to be fair, the Blood Angels are nearly as bad.
No,
Like,
the Blood Angels are worse. Hands down worse.
Well, yeah, they do have the whole golden nipple armour.
No, I'm meaning in terms of like using the name of their chapter a lot. Like they've got Blood Claws, Blood Talons. No, they're not Blood Claws. That's wolves. Blood Talons, Blood, various things. It's not and sanguinary this, sanguine that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you said Sanguinary Guard because they were originally the Guard of Sanguinius, so it's kind of a leftover thing from tradition.
Yeah,
Yes.
but their name translates to Bloodguard.
True, but Sanguinius' name also means blood, essentially.
Ish,
Yep.
yeah. True.
Like, all
Is,
this silly stuff.
So when we're going to get our Corgi-mancers,
Call Gomancers, get it right.
so Corgomancers, sorry.
Come on, you know Alpha better than I do, and even I remember that.
But
Oh, man.
do you know what I find quite funny as well? The amount of people who, because you know I did my theory on the lost Primarchs.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And the amount of people say, oh, maybe the lost two Primarchs were women. It's like, no. Because
No.
the Centre of Ages flat out states Lionel Johnson has 19 brothers.
Yeah, it does clearly state
Flat out
brothers.
says. If it said 19 siblings,
Okay.
yeah, fair
There's a
enough.
possibility.
But
I mean, one of them could have fallen to Slanesh and be a sister now, but still.
it's still
theory
a
me.
dick, though.
Theory me. Omegon was one of the lost Primarchs, and they just, instead of, like, taking him out, they just sort of pretended he was there and just dropped him on with Alfarius. But then again, that wouldn't explain why they were so identical.
Clones.
The warp did it.
Yes, all did it. I still can't get over that piece of art of Malkador sitting on the golden throne with the skulls with 2 and 11 rounded on them. It was like, ooh. See what you did?
Yeah.
Very clever.
I mean, in all honesty, Games Workshop just designed them to be like your own homebrew army.
Yeah, it was
They haven't
probably...
given us the rules to make a homebrew of them in 30k yet. I
Well,
want to
they-
be able to design my own Primarch.
They put Black Shields and the Shattered Legions in, so they've taken a step.
But we want it. We give us like a Primarch stat generating table to make your own Primarch.
Didn't they do that in 4th edition Space Marines with making your own captain and giving him his own tactics and everything?
Yes.
That was pretty badass.
Well, speaking of tactics, we've had... I just want this really random side point. They're talking about tactics and like custom tactics and things. Why didn't Orcs get the equivalent of chapter tactics for the Great Clans? And speaking of which, why didn't Guard get them for the regiments? That would have been so cool.
You know what? I think the Orcs are just... I hate to say this, but the Orcs are probably the most balanced army in 40k.
Jesus.
And because of that, they can't get anything cool like that. Like,
Well,
I can see Speed Freaks getting +3 to their runs and plus, like, automatic 6-inch movement because they're Speed Freaks.
Well, I remember I came across a fan codex for the Orcs, and it had clan tactics, it had clan-specific warlord traits, clan-specific relics. It was just like, this is everything I want from the Orc Codex, and then a lot more, because it had actually proper Grot armies with Grot Council HQs and stuff. It was amazing.
That reminds me so much of the Rebel Grot mobs from Gork Morka.
That's basically what it was.
I wish they would. I really do wish they would. They're missing such a good opportunity with the Orcs. Like, I get it, the Orcs are, you know, the comedy relief of 40k, but still, they could be one hell of a good army.
They were, back when not biker style was a thing.
You know, back in 5th edition when the Orcs were tier 1 and amazing.
Well, when one specific build of Orcs that only worked one way was tier 1.
Hey, that is completely true, but I'm going to disagree with you.
As you wish.
No, I did. I loved playing knob armies, like having all these nobles on the table. I miss when boys were good.
Boys were good. I mean, I played Orcs since I was 12, and boys have never been good.
I remember when Orc boys had a ballistic skill of 3.
Oh my god.
What?
Let's not go crazy.
That was back in 2nd edition. They literally had, it was like, movement 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 1, initiative 2, attacks 1, leadership 7.
How come Orcs don't have strength 4?
Because stupid. Because Furious Charge exists. That's why Orcs don't have strength 4, because Furious Charge exists, and I hate it.
No, it's so useless. Like, the Orcs, the first round of combat, smack a whole bunch of times, everybody makes their save, and then you just sit there for 5 turns going, did you remove them yet?
Yeah, that's basically how it works. It's so, like, the funny thing is though, like, I remember when Orcs had +1 initiative because Furious Charge actually worked. And
they would swing at the same time as Space Marines?
No, they were never that fast. They were still in initiative 3, but...
yeah.
But the amount of times I just looked like, where's the point of initiative? Like, I'll take an initiative 4 knobs, then my knobs are initiative 4. Great, because that means I get at the same time as Marines and not just get chopped to bits. And my boys are now faster than those Necrons who are better in close combat than they are for no reason. Ugh.
Do any of you remember, speaking of Necrons, do any of you guys remember the original Proto-Necrons? The Chaos Androids?
Yes.
No, before my time, I'm afraid.
Literally, these were they were Necrons, but had a Chaos Star carved into their head, and they were built by Chaos Squats. It was a simpler time.
Well, you mentioned Necrons, and Ramses loves this. Diganobs.
Diganobs.
Every comment on my videos is always a variation of Diganobs and something to that effect.
Yeah, I have a question about Necrons. What happened to Pariahs? Where did they go? Did they just get completely retconned?
Yeah.
No, they joined the Imperium.
I can't tell if you're being serious or sarcastic.
No, neither could I.
That's an actual thing. They are in the Imperium now.
So are they being sheltered by the Adeptus Mechanicus, are they? Or
something like that.
Unlikely. Living Metal Abomination, I doubt it.
Originally, they weren't. Because pariahs are those people who are, like, immune to, like, psychic shit and whatever.
Yeah, because someone asked me about pariahs, and I was like, yeah, in general, pariahs, also known as psychic blanks in the Imperium, do not live long, as the feelings of hatred and distaste they generate means they have few friends and many enemies, according to the wiki. So Necron pariahs are blanks who have gone into the biotransference, and they're enslaved to all the Necrons, yada yada yada, and there are very few even amongst the Necrons. It doesn't say of where they've gone.
They might just have died out. I don't know. I don't know how Necrons... No, I do know how Necrons die out, because Orcs have killed entire Tomb Worlds.
This article discusses material that was once considered canon, but whose canonicity is now questionable. Oh, so they might have literally just retconned them out of existence.
I just want to point out in regards to canonicity. You know when people say, oh, it's not canon because it's not been mentioned? I think that's personally a bullshit excuse. Just because it's not been mentioned doesn't mean it's not canon. Unless they say specifically, yeah, this ain't canon anymore.
Can we say that about the Wolfen book? Please?
Yes.
What, that it's not canon?
No, it shouldn't be canon. How are the Dark Angels experts at hunting and detecting chaos led by a changeling?
Ooh.
Because the changeling is that good.
No, that's such a stupid fucking excuse.
Well, you said, but at the same time, there can be exits detecting chaos, because what are the Watchers in the dark?
They're chaos beings.
Exactly.
And what are the Dark Angels always said to be?
Traitors.
So, and let's be fair, in their eyes, the wolves have been asking for it. Probably.
Yeah.
So the Changeling probably just gave them the last poke they needed.
Yes, but to declare civil war on the Wolfen?
Actually, yeah, I'm actually curious as to what they're going to do next, because obviously the wolves are going to get saved by some Deus Ex Machina yada yada nonsense.
Plot armor.
The Wolfstone or something.
The Warp did it.
I'm just curious as to what's going to be the wolves' Deus Ex Machina.
The Emperor.
Matt Ward.
Oh god,
Sorry,
they brought him back.
Everyone's now an Ultramarine. Bye.
No, I could actually see, like, because the Emperor has actually, and I am saying this as a legit reason, the Emperor could actually talk to one of them and just be like, hey, stop being an idiot.
And they wouldn't assume they were being chatted to by someone who wasn't the Emperor because they wouldn't know the difference?
No, when the Emperor actually, like, talks to people, people tend to listen.
But how do they know it's not a Chaos Demon trying to trick them?
That is true.
That's the only way I could see getting around that one. I'm just really curious as to what's going to save the wolves. Whether it's going to be, hell, it could even be Magnus throwing up a force shield and saying, "No, this is my kill," and just swarming Fenris.
That's probably going to be what's happened.
One of the other things is my friend pointed this out to me. He said that they just started bombarding a planet. The planet. It doesn't necessarily say they're bombarding the space wolves.
Well, they were in orbit over Fenris, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, but
And I
warp
don't
travel
think-
is still a thing.
But I don't think well, if you're in orbit over Fenris when you hit the big red button, I don't think Exterminatus missiles have the capacity to travel through interstellar space to hit another planet. I could be wrong on that. I would assume that they would just like go straight through the atmosphere rather than travel through space and navigate on their own. They're not servitor piloted.
Well, officially, the weaponry of a Imperial ship, and this is coming from Gav Thorpe himself, its range is about 45,000 kilometers.
Which, in the context of space, I've done physics, is not that far.
No. But probably close enough to hit, I don't know, a moon or something, I don't know.
Yeah, you might be able to hit a moon, but I don't think Fenris has one.
Wait, how do they not have a moon?
Not every planet has one.
No, they have got a moon, it's called the Wolf Side.
Oh, well maybe they hit that then. I don't know, we'll see.
Because everything on Fenris is fucking wolf.
Well, technically it's not on Fenris.
It's still orbiting Fenris, it counts.
Everything wolf associated.
Even the planet is basically wolf. It's named after the Norse god wolf.
True.
Loki's Loki's kid. Because for some reason Loki's kids are dogs, for some reason. Anyway, that's a different issue entirely.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Why is the Dark Angels, the Helm of Light, Lionel Johnson's helm?
Yeah.
Why is that green? Shouldn't it be black?
I didn't even know he had. I didn't actually know that.
Because Azrael carries it around with his little watcher in the dark, and it's always green. Why is it green?
Maybe they repainted it.
Can you imagine if Lionel just wakes up from this nap and says, "Who the fuck painted my helmet?"
I can just assume they repainted it when they did a full rebrand, would be my assumption.
Or it was just a mistake on GW's part.
Probably. Because since, he's supposed to be part of the Deathwing, because he's part of the first company, because he's the captain of he's chapter master, so therefore he'd be part of the Deathwing regardless. So why isn't his armour bone-coloured?
Because he's not in Terminator armour.
That happened after the heresy.
No, I meant Azrael, sorry.
He's not in Terminator armour, is my guess. Because if you look at all the captains have been inducted into the Inner Circle, and that means that they're technically part of the Deathwing, and they have green armour. So I'm assuming it's a Terminator linked thing.
Unless it isn't actually paint, and it's more like ceremonial dust.
No, I think there is a story as to why it's painted white. I forget it right now, but...
It's the Space Hulk story from the Deathwing expansion, which it's technically been retconned, but not quite retconned.
Yeah, so the story's been retconned.
This is when they were back when they were Native Americans, but they're no longer Native Americans.
Class.
The theory I came up with, it's an allegory for basically the Horus Heresy, but it's instead of saying, you know, oh, we were fighting, you know, traitor Dark Angels. No, it was Gene Stealers. Instead of being a recruitment world, it was actually Caliban.
Yeah, I don't think that theory's going to fly.
You'd be surprised. It makes a lot of sense. Because let's be honest, if you're a young Dark Angel and you're learning bits and pieces, and you learn of the story, oh yeah, Deathwing Terminator saved up, you know, this recruiting world from Gene Stealer infestation, you think, oh, that's pretty boss. And you get to the Deathwing, it's like, yeah, it was actually Caliban, and it was actually some Dark Angels who actually betrayed us during the Horus Heresy. What?
Oops.
So we were telling you the truth from a certain point of view.
No, they were just lying, because they mentioned... God, Dark Angels are worse than blooming school teachers in terms of misleading you with the truth.
I thought the Alpha Legion was the worst. Yeah, because everyone's Alpharius. Except for that one guy who's not Alpharius, the one who's got the model, I've forgotten his name. It's the only guy from the Alpha Legion who actually has a name that isn't Alpharius.
Oh, yeah. I'll look up the character series now, see if I can find it.
I have no idea.
I do. I can actually, I almost see his face, I just can't...
The one with the big Hydra tattoo on his face.
Yeah, where is he now?
I'm not Alpha Legion. No, this is the Imperial Serpent, the second Legion. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Dynat. Armorless Dynat.
Yeah. The only guy from the Alpha Legion who isn't named Alpharius.
Though, to be fair, he could probably pass as Alpharius if he just didn't tell anybody what his name was.
True.
Here's a random question.
Go on.
Okay. You know how when like China or Russia catches one of our like aircrafts and whatever?
Yeah.
They break it down and determine and rebuild it.
Yeah.
How come the Mechanicum hasn't done the same thing with lost STCs?
Because it's heresy to do so. By just creating something that
Yeah, you don't break an STC down.
Yeah, that's heresy at the highest level. That's death and blowing up your entire planet.
Yeah, see, this is why the Dark Mechanicum are probably outproducing regular Marines at this point. Regular Imperium.
No, the Dark Mechanicum's answer to everything is stick a demon in it and see what the hell happens.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, there is no answer to the Defiler or the Brass Scorpion, that's true.
Well, actually, the Defiler was built by Abaddon.
Because, of course, it was.
That's actually in the 5th edition.
Because there were Defilers during the Horus Heresy, in the Garrow stories, there was this Ultramarine captain who got ripped in half by a Defiler.
Oh.
No, that was a different Defiler.
It was a different one.
It's still a Defiler.
Well, you see, the Warp did it.
It travelled back in time. So
that's happened before, and I can point out an exact scenario in which that's happened.
Yep, same.
That orc war boss
the Lost
who
War.
traveled back in time and killed himself.
Yeah, to have a spare of his favourite gun.
And the double of his entire fleet.
Never mind a paradox that creates of you went back forward and then back in time to shoot yourself in the face, which stops you going forward in the first place. No wonder the war stopped in its tracks. That was just like... Because I remember, I think you and me talked about that with our Emperor Chaos Club theory about time travel, about, like... I can't think of an actual confirmed manual time travel, but there is time travel.
Speaking of time travel and all warp shenanigans,
remember
when Kaldor Drago went to Warhammer Fantasy?
Oh,
yes.
God. Or someone very similar, anyway.
And the Skaven found this piece of Eldar technology and pressed some buttons and heard Eldar voices on the other end.
He picked up a cell phone and Eldred was on the other line.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what happened.
I can just imagine Eldrad having a fit like, what are these rat creatures that I can hear with these strange noises? What is going on? Am I going insane? Am I being possessed? Oh my God.
He probably just thought it was humans. Because he's racist, calls everyone a monkey.
Monkai.
Yeah, monkey.
I know, but...
He probably thought it was Harambe.
Oh, don't bring that meme into it.
Hey, Harambe is current Jesus. He died for our sins. Anyway.
Moving on swiftly.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just going to have a mini rant here. Eldrad is the most undercosted character in the game and it's bullshit. Move on. Seriously, he's Mastery level 4. He's gained Eternal Warrior in this Harlequin Deathmatch formation. He knows the best disciplines in the game with Fate, Telepathy, Divination, and Santic. He's got a free Save a Wound for Imperil. He's got a free reroll to cast, a free reroll to deny. He's got 3 of Invulnerable save, and he costs less than 200 points. He costs less than blooming a Servant. Or the same as a Riptide, and a Riptide is the most undercosted thing in the bloody game right now. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's...
Well, Eldrad is supposed to be a dick.
Rant over.
It was his fault that Armageddon happened.
Actually,
Okay.
yeah, that's true.
I got a rant that can go along with that.
Go on.
What is the point of taking a Carnifex anymore? A properly equipped Carnifex is about 230. Okay?
You
give him
talking DAC effects?
Yep, Doc Effects with the Template Flamer in a pod to drop him where you need him. Okay? He's about 230.
Yep.
What is the point of taking him when I can get a Flying Hive Tyrant, Twin Link Devourers, better Ballistic Skill, 2 Psychic Power, well, 3 Psychic Powers, and the ability to fly?
One, you don't need the pod because it's just redundant extra monstrous creatures for your opponent to deal with, unless you actually want to. You don't need the pod to make it work, although probably the pod is the optimal route. And 2, it's, well, something else for your opponent to shoot at, but it's also not in the HQ slots. If you're playing proper CAD, which you may or may not be, then you have 3 heavy slots, which are potentially 9 Carnifexes, which is 18 Twin Link Devourers, as opposed to a maximum of 4 out of your HQ section.
No, there's a lot more, because you have all 3 Leviathan books. You can ally 3 different Hive Tyrants into your book.
Yeah, I'm thinking out of 1 detachment here, but yeah, you have a point.
There's also the formations.
Yeah, I've run across those.
I mean, the formations for Tyranids are god-awful. Everybody thinks they're good, they're just terrible.
Yeah, the Hive I've run against the Hive Vanguard 3 times now. Once it's completely screwed me over, that's because my opponent was playing basically everything else was infiltrating. And the other time, the Gargoyles just ended up in combat with a squad of Killer Cans for an entire game.
But anyway, that's my mini rant about how and why Carnifexes don't see play anymore. Also, they should be base cost 70.
70?
Yep.
70. For a
Yes.
strength 6, toughness 6, 3-up save monster cost less than a Space Marine captain.
Yes.
On what planet, apart from Planet Crazy, does that make sense? That a monstrous creature, which by the way is way better than a vehicle, costs less than a dreadnought. It's half the cost of a decent dreadnought. It's less than every pretty much good HQ in the game. And it's still toughness 6. If it was toughness 5, alright, fine. But I pay 140 for a Ghost Keel. Now that's got 2 guns, both of which are less range than the Twin Link Devourers. I'm only toughness 5, I've got 1 extra wound, I've got the same save as you, I've got worse stats pretty much everywhere. The only thing I've got going for me is I've got Shrouded. Whoop-de-flippin'-do, and that only works at 12-inch range.
But you also have range and ignores cover.
I have ignores cover if I pay another at least.
You also have
55
proper
points for marker
support
lights.
in your army.
Yes, but that doesn't justify a single unit in a vacuum being dirt cheap, because that means that 9 Carnifexes cost less than most formations, and is infinitely better.
It's a more of a throwback to 5th edition Tyranids, when you had the Scream Killers that were dirt cheap. Okay, I would say 100 points.
Okay, I'll run with 100, but 70. I wouldn't work one less than a captain. No way.
Also,
Sorry,
I think...
we seem to have shut you out, or he's gone quiet, one or the other.
No, I'm just listening to you guys. Go on.
Anyway, that's my mini little rant about that.
Alright, complete the hat trick, Remleiz. What's your rant of the day?
why the hell are Games Workshop sending the Deathwatch Marines from the Deathwatch game and not the Genestealer cult?
I'm so pissed about that.
Yes. Actually, where's the Genestealer cult codex? Never mind anything else.
Or at least make it, an appendix list in the next Tyrannic Codex.
Well, actually, in all fairness, Games Workshop did release the rules for the Genestealer cult online for free.
And in White Dwarf.
And they're also in, they also tell you what slots they take up, so they're normal CAD.
Okay.
Still, I want to be able just to buy the cult army on its own. I don't want to have to buy, 2 boxes of games just to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Also, I want my limos.
Yes. And I want,
yeah.
And I want an updated version of the model of the Patriarch sitting on the throne with the Magus advising him.
Yes. Yes.
Because that was just an awesome model, even though it looked stupid dirty, but the artwork for it was so good. Back when 40k artwork was really fucked up in some places. Like, we see some of the Genestealer cult artwork, like, you've got these two this loving couple, and they're, like, cuddling up to a Genestealer that's got, like, the Mark of Chaos carved into its skull and stuff. It's pretty messy up in places.
It'll be on DeviantArt, probably.
Alright, I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
She's going to look on DeviantArt for this now, isn't she?
No!
Yes. Yeah, DeviantArt is one of the... I honestly, some of the fan art you get on DeviantArt is fantastic. I've got into the habit of just referencing them in descriptions, and, seriously, it's so good. Such good stuff.
The problem with DeviantArt, like, most DeviantArt is, it's like 50% Sonic the Hedgehog fan art / porn, 40% furry fan art porn, 8% My Little Pony, and everything else in the last 2%.
But in that last 2%, there's still some really good stuff. Some of the I know you used a bunch of the Primarch stuff for your quotes video, and yeah, they're just you'd think they were drawn by GW. Yeah, seriously.
I've also got to see some of the artwork done by Disharmonia, because she's done some artwork exclusively for my channel. The icon I've been using a lot of the art from the Iconostasis. It's my background on my PC, actually. Yeah. It's so good. She did some artwork for my Genestealer Orc hybrid, and from the Chaos Codex, the little girl that solved Zinch's maze.
You mean me?
Hmm? She means her.
No, not you. We're talking about Zinch on Slanesh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't know Disharmonia had done that, but yeah, her work's really, really good. I haven't seen all of it. I'm probably end up getting the Iconostasis for my wall out of my birthday money.
Awesome. But yeah, speaking of art and that, there is a very disturbingly high number of 40k ponies.
Can we not talk about the damn bronies?
Skip.
Yeah.
Skip.
Just stop.
Skip. Voted for skip.
Okay. Right. I'm going to raise a question. Seeing as we started with talking about Primarchs for end times, can we go back to... I'm going to ask a question that I've sort of raised. One change you would make to 40k for the next edition, whatever the format. One change.
Mandatory CAD.
So ban Decurions.
Yeah. That would be,
Decurions, I know Decurions are really powerful, but they've got so much good fluff behind them too. And it would also, basically you're saying go back to 5th edition in terms of army build.
Best edition ever.
I disagree. I say go back to 3rd edition. Personally, I think that's the best edition.
I can only go back as far as 5th. I really enjoyed playing 5th, but I really enjoyed the idea behind formations and Decurions. I just think they're a bit too powerful.
There's a time and place for formations, and that's called Apocalypse. Let's keep Apocalypse out of 40k. Make it a separate game again.
But my retaliation card, my 8, I can't run the... Oh,
do you know what I missed from 2nd edition?
Go on.
Strategy cards.
Yes.
Isn't that basically playing Cities of Death?
I've not played Cities of Death, so I can't.
Well, that had stratagems, and Apocalypse had stratagems.
Like, literally, because each army had a strategy rating. So, like, Spacemen's had 5, Tyrants were 1.
Oh, yeah.
Were,
No,
2.
Tyranids were 2 and Orcs were 1.
I think I remember. I saw something like this in like the 4th Ed rulebook. I saw something about strategy rating.
I might actually be thinking 4th edition then.
But yeah, there's basically a massive deck of cards, and basically you shuffle it and you draw a number of cards equal to your army strategy rating. And each card would confer, a special one-time effect in the game. Like, for example, you could call in, a strafing run. So basically, you take 2d6 autocannon shot, or 2d6 autocannon hits on one particular enemy squad at any point in the game. For example, 1 point at one-time use, or something like that. Because the Tyrants had their own unique table in their codex. Like, which can actually instill different effects on your enemy's army. Like, for example, there was one called John is Acting Strangely, and basically you roll a dice at the beginning of each turn, and if you roll a 6, then one random model in that unit dies and is replaced with a Ripper Swarm, which you can then control.
Huh.
Speaking of Ripper Swarms, I miss the Parasite of Mortrex.
Yeah. I tell you what, I hated Mortrex when I was playing Orcs. I like Melantai. Melantai was hilarious.
Yep.
Designed for about 8 in the entire craft world.
Yep.
Which also proved that Tyranids can rip out your soul.
Well, at least Lanesh didn't get it.
I don't know what's worse.
Oh, the Hive Mind doesn't...
You can still have a conversation with Tigerius, at least.
Yeah.
Which is another interesting point. Necron living metal, is it built or is it grown? Because if it's grown, that means it's an organic material, which means the Tyrants could consume it.
Okay.
But they don't.
So, no, they do.
I thought they avoided Tomb Worlds.
Tyranids normally do avoid Tomb Worlds unless they need precious minerals. Tyranids don't just eat living organisms, they eat minerals as well. They break it down on an atomic level.
So I assume growing into a tomb complex, there'll be some pretty powerful crystal, if nothing else, in there to keep them going.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And also, it's also a dead world, technically, and they can go there and start building their hive ships.
Or breeding their hive ships.
Yep.
Technically.
Which basically you go to dead world, you basically get these 2 giant spaceships fucking.
That is not an image I needed, Remleiz.
Actually, if you can get porn of anthropomorphized planes, I'm sure someone's going to be out there drawing 2 Tyrant hive ships fucking. And someone
don't give them ideas!
God damn it, now you started something. Well done.
Hashtag hive ship sex.
Oh, you do realise that the comment section for the next 7 months is just going to be that now. Thanks.
The comment section will probably still be digging ups.
My comments really needed that.
Oh my god. Oh, we're terrible people.
Yeah.
No, it's just Remleiz.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just Remleiz.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
We love you.
I know you do. But it's still an interesting point though. If it is technically an organic material, if it's living metal, that means technically the Tyrants could adapt it into their bodies and have living metal Tyranids.
Just like the 5th edition book.
Someone has to paint that. Someone needs to make that now.
That's actually in the last edition Tyranid Codex.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Ravener with a metal front.
Oh, that's cool.
And the theory about it is, hey, that particular Tyranid branch ate living metal. And also, if what's the dude with the metal hands?
Ferrus Manus.
Ferrus Manus also proves that living metal is organic. Because he still has full muscle movement and everything underneath the living metal.
Yeah, it's not like bionics.
True.
So, I do think the Tyranids can consume and adapt living metal.
The problem, I think, with that is that the Necrons have in order to consume it, they'd have to completely overrun the tomb complex, assuming the Necrons didn't have Dolmen Gates, because the Dolmen Gates would just allow the tomb complex to just almost like whip out through the warp, or the Necrons do what they used to do and phase out, which means there's not enough resource for the Tyranids. So it's probably the Tyranids could, but in terms of like getting a good balanced diet, it'd be huge amount of expenditure for very little gain. I'd wager.
Orcs destroyed an entire tomb world. I'm pretty sure the Tyranids could.
Yes, but that's orcs. Orcs just do stuff because orcs believe it will work.
That's true.
So if orcs believe that Tyranids can actually consume Necrons, will that happen?
No, we're not going to do this debate. Oh my god.
If enough orcs believe they can see the reason why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, will it be true?
I knew it was coming, and I'm not disappointed. My theory is that they have consumed Necron tomb worlds before, and that's why they had the old adaptation Armored Carapace.
Maybe.
It would be the metal that they've consumed put into their carapaces to protect them.
But then, why isn't that spread across every organism? Because if you consumed it, then the genetic data behind it would be as part of the Hive Fleet's minds, and back, therefore, with the general Hive mind. So why would not every fleet's warriors...
It might have taken a longer time to basically process the genetic code, because don't forget that Tyrant Guard were only a relatively recent addition to the Tyrant Codex, and they're made from Space Marine genetic material.
It was 4th edition, I think, Tyrant Guard were around, right?
True, but again, if Necrons officially came, as a full-blown army in 3rd edition.
3rd, and Nids were right behind them, weren't they?
Yeah, but Nids have been around since Rogue Trader officially.
Oh,
because in Rogue Trader, in the actual creatures list, you have Tyranids there. So, if it's taken them from 1st to 4th edition to get the genetic coding for Space Marines, then it'd be from 3rd to 8th or whatever to get the Necron.
No, it'd be 3rd to 6th, like 3 editions later. So it'd be 6th. And what came out in 6th? Hive Guard. What have Hive Guard got? The same stats as Tyrant Guard, but with better guns. Theory me.
Oh shit.
That
is true, but
they also had the genetic material of humans already, and since human DNA is basically Space Marine DNA, just with additional bells and whistles, compared to it would be actually easier for them to do so. We already got this part, so we just need to get the last few bits.
That's where the Pariahs went then. That's where the Necron Pariahs went. The Tyranids ate them because it's half human, half Necron. They'll just take the human part and then start synthesizing the Necron DNA. That gives you Hive Guard. And then that means that when they do consume the Necrons, it speeds up the evolution into proper Necron Tyranids.
Don't forget that Tyranids have also had organisms die off or just not use them.
True.
Just look at the Zotes, for instance.
Oh, that was Slann in space, wasn't it?
No. Slann was Slann in space.
Oh. But who were the Zotes?
The Zotes were centaurs, essentially. That they were a sentient race. They could communicate with other races. They were not actually engineered by the Tyranids. They were actually a conquered race that the Tyranids used to serve as a mouthpiece, originally. And they could actually link up with Tyranid bioweapons and actually utilize them, even though it was supposed to be incredibly painful for them to do so.
Yeah, that's just a World of Hive for you.
Come 3rd edition, the Tyranids realised, we don't need ambassadors, we'll just bloody eat everything and just,
Well, they do technically have ambassadors. They're called Gene Stealer cults.
That's not ambassadors, that's mind control.
That's a espionage infiltrator.
And mind control.
Saboteur.
Yeah, same thing, right?
No, ambassadors are like the Tau Watercast. They walk in and they convince you that their cause is noble. Or something.
And then they sterilize you and...
Yes. I can't imagine going too well getting an Imperial Ambassador surrounded by a whole bunch of guardsmen, a couple of Space Marines, and you get this, weird mutated centaur thing walking off some old gangster going, "Hello, my name's Wilbur. Do you want to be friends?" They'll be just like, "Purge it."
If a Tau can do it.
Yes, but a Tau are humanoid. Zotes aren't. Zotes are literally half, lizard centaur tyrannid creature things with weird organic gas mask faces.
Oh, I didn't know if they had a humanoid upper torso and then Tyranid lower half. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
No, they're monsters.
They're
actually, the Malinceptor might actually be the Zote.
You mean the giant, half psychic thing that's completely useless in game?
Yeah, the thing that's completely useless that no one should ever bring because a zoanthrope is better than it.
Just like the Zotes.
Yep.
Yep, actually, now you say it.
So I think the Tyranids did use them for a little bit, until they started consuming what was in the galaxy, and then consumed the Zotes and made the Malinceptors, and probably regretted that decision.
Well, actually, Zote sounds a lot like Zoanthrope, no?
It does, but they were completely different organisms.
It's a coincidence.
Yeah, it's coincidence, fair news.
Just like how Ferrus Manus literally means Iron Hand.
I thought it was Iron Man.
No, that's Iron Hand.
Oh yeah, La Main, French, M-A-I-N. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
Anyway. I was doing the Iron Maiden song.
We all got different references there.
Indeed.
Right, it's coming up to that time where I'm probably going to have to go and cook some dinner at this point. So
So we'll
sorry
wrapping this up then, yes. So.
Yes, I think so. Sorry, folks. I know we could probably keep going until the cows come home, and I'm sure you would too. But
maybe next episode we can go longer.
Yeah, man's got to eat. So details for next time. The plan with the podcast is to rotate it around our 3 channels. Obviously, this episode's gone up on Remleiz's channel, and the next episode will be going up on either mine or Alexis's channel. We haven't decided that yet, but
we'll flip a coin later.
Yeah, and we'll put out a trailer on the other 2 channels, either when this episode's gone live, so if you're watching from Tactica Imperialis or EgoQueenAlexis, you'll have been redirected here, and then there'll be a trailer on Remleiz's and the other not-person's channel, bringing you to that person's channel, and then the third one will go to the third person, and then it goes round in a loop. That's basically the plan, as far as I'm aware.
Regardless, we'll keep all you guys informed as to when the next episode's up and where to view it.
Absolutely.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. This has been Remleiz from 40K Theories.
It's been Michael from Tactica Imperialis.
I'm Alexis. Love ya.
And we'll see you all again next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.